Hello everybody, this is Jasmina, and in this video I'm going to talk about the annual pillar interactions with your Vatsa, with you, and what a given year, what kind of skills that you will get in a given year. So the annual pillar, just like the luck pillar, has interactions with your and our, everybody's natal Vatsa chart. And when you understand what you have available to you, you can take advantage of things that might not otherwise occur to you. And so this is not unimportant. The luck pillar is more important than the annual pillar because you've got the same extra energy or the same extra skill, or at least skill potential, for 10 years. And so you can make much bigger gains than you can in a single year. And that's why the luck pillar is more important. But some years, it can actually boost the skills or the talents that the current luck pillar gives us. So this can really make, like one year with a certain luck pillar, if you have the right, if you're, I don't want to say lucky, usually there'll be 1 year in there that is kind of in sync with the luck pillar, and you'll make a lot more gains in that 1 year than you would do in the other years of your luck pillar. But you still make gains every year in the luck pillar if you're focusing on the right things. So if that happens, that basically accelerates your progress. And so, for example, if we're talking about starting your own business, and it's usually people have to depend on luck pillars. Some people are really lucky and it's in their natal chart, but that's pretty rare. But when the correct luck pillar comes along, they will probably have one of those years where the annual pillar and the luck pillar work together, and really it becomes a breakout year for the business, where they really finally start to make a lot of money. Now, I did show you how to do shifting palaces a couple of videos ago, but we don't do that. We never shift to the luck pillar. So you never look at the luck pillar as the focus. Even though I'm talking about here that the year pillar can give certain skills to the luck pillar, it doesn't really. It gives it to you that are in sync with the luck pillar. The luck pillar is a timing thing. It actually is not you. It is time. So no matter what, when we're looking at the luck pillar or we're looking at the annual pillar, it interacts with our day master. That's how we look at it. So the day master is the focus, and we don't shift palaces even within the natal chart for this. We just look at the day master. The day master is always the focus. So this is the chart that I showed you for the entrepreneur chart, and this chart is not a person I know. I just randomly found it and had the properties that I was looking for to discuss the entrepreneur chart, but I thought I'd stick with it. What this person is missing, and this is a man, he's missing indirect wealth, 7K, and eating God. And so this makes it harder for him to do certain things. The IW in general gives you more self-reliance so that you can actually, and a bit of toughness so that you can run your own business. Because running your own business is not an easy task. It is actually quite difficult. And so this is something that if he wants to run his own business, he has to find that in his luck pillar. Or he can team up with someone who does have this, and that could work also. So it depends on his circumstances. But then he'll be fairly dependent on this other person to be able to really run the business. And then he more becomes an employee. But he could partner maybe. And so he might have certain skills that would help. Now he's also missing 7K. It's the 7 killings. This gives a person in general more energy and it also gives them more self-confidence typically, a little bit more drive, a little bit more toughness also. So this person may be not really suited to running a business because he's missing these two. Because you basically have to be fairly tough to run your own business. He's also missing the eating god, which has to do with creativity. Now he does have HO, so he's not shy necessarily. He's outgoing enough, and it doesn't bug him to, speak to groups of people and all this. So he's not a shy person, which is a very good thing. And that is also quite important when you run your business. But he's not going to come up with a creative business because he's missing EG. Now, he does have an EG between this year and his 6th luck pillar, so he can actually enhance this. Everybody can become more creative if they want to, if they work at it. It's a lot easier, but having creativity allows you to look at a problem in a different aspect or from various different points of view, and that's usually how you can solve a problem. So EG is important for problem solving. Now, his nearest IW luck pillar doesn't start until he's 56 years old, and that occurs this year, the 2052, and it happens to be a water monkey year, and this is going to give him certain things. And every year of his luck pillar, he will have something. And we can see where he might have a breakout year if he decides to start a business, either in the first year or two of his wealth luck pillar, his 6th luck pillar. Now, everybody's won't be the 6th luck pillar. Everybody's will be different. This just happened to be the 6th luck pillar for this particular person. Now, this first year of his 6th luck pillar, he doesn't get anything else he's missing. He's just getting the IW, which is a crucial thing if he wants to start his own business. And if this is what his desire is, then he's going to most likely have best of luck if he uses the DR. Now, he has a little bit of DR in his natal chart, but it's on the low side. So this will help him become a lot more analytical about how to run a business, how to do the whole business plan, how to know what he's going to do, maybe even what steps he might take, especially in the very beginning. How is he going to let people know he has this business? This is all part of starting a business. So this is a very good year for the preliminary stuff. Now he can actually officially start the business this year, but it's not going to be very productive. It'll be kind of quite slow because he doesn't have some of the other skills he needs. Now, the next 2 years, he gets 7K. So he'll learn to be a little tougher. He may get more passionate about the business because he does see a little bit of success, and that tends to give you more energy. Or he may start to exercise, which is sort of weird, but exercise does give you more energy. And in the second year, he also gets EG, which again, these two things plus this is what he's missing. So this is the year where he should go back and look at his first plans and try to become a little more creative, maybe have a new product, a more creative product coming out, something like this that would make the business more more interesting to others, to their customers. They can see they have something they want. So sometimes that does require some creativity. But after having been in the business, people will ask you something, you get some idea of what they want. And this will help you to become more creative, to find what new products you're going to offer. And this is a really good year to think about new products. Now, this year, He doesn't have a lot, except for really he's got both of the companion stars. So this is really good for networking. And this would be a year that maybe won't bring him a lot of extra business, but that networking in the future will. So that it becomes important. And here he should concentrate on his HO. Now he has some in his chart, but it's not extremely high. So basically he can use this to improve his salesmanship. Maybe learn some new skilling technique, sales techniques, some new skills involving generally sales. This will help. And this might be finding the right online advertiser, finding the right place to link to, could be all kinds of things. And but this is where salesmanship becomes more important. Now, these are the first 5 years. These are the second 5 years. Very different and a lot, probably going to be a lot more profitable. Now, this year, his 6th year of his 6th luck pillar, he has everything he was missing. The IW goes with this IW. He becomes a lot better at running his business. He just somehow something clicks and he's able to run his business better. He maybe that EG from earlier finally works its way and really kind of does a breakout. And he also has EG here. So he has a very, very good chance of coming up with some really good products that people really want. And this would be his breakout year. This is the year his business goes from inching along to being successful, or at least a lot more successful. And then it can keep going as time goes on, because if you learn the lessons here, they stay. Now this one is back to, it's nothing extra special that he doesn't already have. He already has a lot of DW, so he can become quite hardworking here, and he's going to count a lot on hardworking, but he may work a little too hard and ignore some other things because he's already got quite a bit of DW. So there's a danger here. He should instead be focusing again on sales, because he has this skill which boosts up his relatively low skill, but which is really, really, really important for a business. So he does have a danger of maybe overdoing it on working too hard. And working hard, but not necessarily smart. That's what can happen with too much DW. Now, this year, he has a double dose of IW again. So he probably will make some more breakthroughs, maybe not quite as profound as back in 57, but he's very likely to improve his business again another notch. And then the next year, basically, we're going to concentrate on DO. Now, he does have DO in his chart, and it's not tiny, but here is where he can really concentrate on improving efficiency, because that's a lot of what a DO can do also. And so this allows him to improve his cash flow, and this may be a year where he makes enough, or it might be the next year, somewhere around there, where he makes enough that he can actually quit his day job. And then this last one, again, improving sales, we have HO, because he has it, but it's kind of weak, and a bit more self-confidence. Especially if he's able to quit his job, that should give him a lot of self-confidence. So, and even if he knows he can quit it and he doesn't, it still gives him a lot of confidence. So this is all good. Now, the year after this is his clash year. He is born in the year of the rat, so the horse is his clash year. But his clash year gives him IW and EG. So it extends, in effect, extends the luck pillar one more year, because he's had it all the way up to then, and this one he still has this energy. So I think he's very, very lucky. So that gives him even yet another year where he can improve. And again, a more creative year. So this person is really, really set for starting his business, when he's 56. And he's probably might well be bummed he can't start it earlier. You can start a business earlier, and actually you might gain some really good information. Your business may not be successful, but you may have some really good information that really helps you in the long run. So just as the luck pillar has a talent or talents available for that decade, the annual pillar does the same thing, but again, it's only for 1 year. So it it doesn't allow you to gain as much. And when you look at it, you do look at both the heaven and the hidden stems of the annual pillar, and you can see with respect to your day pillar what those extra skills or talents are for each year. It's the same thing as how they do this for the luck pillar, like a Joey app where they just give you all this information. Well, you do the same thing with, you can do the same thing yourself with your luck pillars in the future, so you can really plan out your life. Now, these skills can enhance your luck pillars effects or complement them. That is, you may be having one thing, you may have more than one thing that's weak. Most people have at least a few things that are weak. Some people don't. Some are everywhere in the average range, and then you can just use, in fact, it's kind of nice if that's the case, because every year and every luck pillar will give you some real ability to get to a much higher level. So that's great. But a lot of people are missing at least a few elements. Now, these annual skills can also enhance weaker but not zero level that is totally missing from of your natal chart. And when I say less than 30%, I'm talking about the percentage you would get from like a Joey Yap analysis. Now, the standard rules apply to the annual chart as they do to the luck pillars. That is, what talent it gives you. It's the same rules. Nothing is different. But since the annual pillar only lasts a year, smaller goals are what you should attempt. If you have a really big goal, you usually cannot do it in a single year unless you get really, really lucky and find the right people. Now, it is a hard thing to gain a big skill in 1 year. It is pretty easy to gain a big skill in 10 years. And that's why the luck pillar is more important. Now, expending effort is necessary. Duh. I mean, really. If all you want to do when you come home is watch TV or play video games, your luck pillars and your annual pillars are not going to help you. You have to use them to gain these skills to improve your life. Otherwise, you're going to stagnate in your job. And stagnation is usually a good way to lose your job in your sixth luck pillar when you're not learning anything new. So really, life is not meant to be easy in terms of just coasting. You really should make the use of every little bit that talent and potential that you have. So I thought I'd give you the hidden stems just so that you don't have to go searching for them. Each one of these hidden stems here will give you a certain skill. And of course, the heaven stem of the year will also do that, but that is, independent of these because they have two different cycles. So it takes 60 years before you go back to the same cycle or the same pillar. Now, it's somewhat interesting, and I actually would like to get some feedback from other people. Now, I was born in the year of the pig, so the snake is my class year, and so next year is my class year. I'm actually, I do think it'll be an interesting year. There will be challenges, but I'm quite confident I can make my life better. This might even be my breakout year. And that's because these hidden stems are the, in relationship to my day master, are the 3 elements I'm missing in my chart. And I was very surprised. Now, I would say that I've had luck, or I've had clash years before. They've been interesting, but I've come out better, a better, more capable person afterwards. But I would say I have not used any of these things, uh, any of these skills. And I just used the other skills I was already good at. So you can tackle it in various different ways. Now, luckily, I have a lot of resources, and for me, the resources are water. So I'm quite adaptable. That makes it a lot easier for me to deal with problems. So I didn't need to tap into these, but I think this next year I will, because I can see some real potential here. Now, I don't know how common this is, but if you remember when I was talking about that chart earlier of the theoretical person I don't know, the he also in his clash year has 2 of his missing elements in the uh, in his clash animal. So that is the hidden stems of his clash animals. So I don't know how common that is. Now, I looked at my husband's chart. He has 2 missing elements, but his clash year does not pick up either one of those, but it does pick up one of his elements that is low, that is below 30% for him. So it's interesting. I wonder how common that is. And I welcome you guys to, leave your comments, or email me if you don't want to put it in the public thing. I really want to know how common this is, because it's quite interesting. And it really gives you a way to deal with your clash year that can really change your life permanently. It's really quite interesting. Now, if you have a non-zero level of an element in the stems during a clash year, or in fact any year, it is a lot easier than if you don't have any of that level to tap into that skill or talent. So it's a real advantage when you have at least a little bit of it in your chart. Now, for me, I have 4 that are high, 3 that are average, and 3 that are missing. And so I don't have anything low. So it's like all or nothing for me. But I can't change my Batsa, so I don't worry about it. But if you're like me, completely missing an element, you typically need to take deliberate action to tap into that skill, because it doesn't come naturally to you. You probably don't even enjoy it. You think that this is maybe not pointless, but maybe boring, maybe you just have a dislike for it. And also, it might not even occur to you that gaining that skill is what you need to move forward. So this is quite interesting. Um, I really would like to know if everybody else's, or at least what percentage of people are like me, that the stuff that they're missing comes in their clash year, or even part of it, or something that you're low on. I really would like to know this, because this really can help you figure out how to deal with a clash year in a much more profitable way. Now, again, remember what these elements down here mean to you will depend on what your day master is. It isn't, I can't tell you what this is, because I don't know what your day master is. So, but this you can do. So here's how you do it. I mean, you've seen this chart several times already, but so I'll just go over it very quickly. The symbols you see in a Batsa analysis are going to be one of these 10. And the friend star is the same element with the same polarity. So polarity means yin or yang. So if you are a yang fire, your friend is yang fire. Your Rob Wealth is yin fire. and so forth. So all the opposite polarity over here, all the same polarity are here. And take a screenshot if you want, because you're going to have to maybe do some of this, for the, future years. You can use this to be able to figure out what you need to do. Now, this is what the skills that these things give you. So the friend gives you better interpersonal skills. So does the Rob Wealth, but it's in a slightly different way. Here, you're more caring. Here, it's more give and take. And this is more about relationships with really close people, whereas this is more networking. So it has a bit of a different thing, but they're very similar. The EG and the HO are about creativity, and the HO is more being on stage, being in the spotlight, whereas the EG is more on the creative side, more in the background. And most people who are on stage typically they have a talent. That's why they're there. They have creativity beyond the norm. Now, the two resources, they're similar. They both give you better logic, but this one is more philosophical, more like general questions, not super detailed, more big picture. Whereas the DR is a lot more analytical, much more focused, more smaller view, very precise. And this also, of course, helps really with problem solving, because you take the big picture and you break it down, and you're able to solve the problem because you still have that big picture in your head. If you don't have the big picture, this can be a problem. So usually if you have the DR to be really useful, you must also have the IR. And for the wealth, basically the IW is more, you have a lot more self-reliance, you're a little more versatile, you tend to prefer to be in a smaller company or be your own boss, because you think you have a better idea for something than a company that you might work for. But the DW is, most people do better with DW than they do with IW, because usually you make more money working for others than you do for yourself. But here you have the ability to work within a large company, and you're basically more dedicated to task, even the boring ones, that has to be done, and you're just willing to do it. And you might complain about it, but it doesn't make you want to quit your job. It will, you're not really happy about it, but you tend to just say, this is still, I'm still getting paid well, so I'll do it. It's all about getting paid. And for these last two are the influence. The 7K, this can give you more energy, more drive, more ambition, and higher levels of self-confidence. So if you're missing this in your chart, this is often, usually self-confidence is a big problem. And for the DO, basically this is about leadership. And you tend to be better organized, and your thinking is less scattered. And when you talk to people, you're more on point. You're not all over the place. And some people are all over the place, and they're a little hard to, they're not very good leaders, because you don't know what's going to come out of their mouth next. So this year, the annual pillar is the wood dragon, and this will give each day master a different set of skills, and I'm going to go through all of them. So if you are a Yangwood day master, you get both companion stars. So this helps with networking and so forth. You have IW, which tends to give you at least some desire or some interest in running your own business. That is, you usually see something wherever you're working that you say, I think I could do better. And this is probably what will come up is you will see things that are problems in your wherever you're currently working, and you may have some inkling of how to improve it. Now, whether or not your boss even listens to you is another thing, but you know, it could happen, it might not. The DR gives you a little bit more analytical skills. Now, of course, you have to look at what you have in your natal chart. If you have a lot of DR, this DR is a bit of a danger. It can make you too focused, and you can lose the big picture, and that could make you fail. You miss the big picture in a project your boss gives you, you're going to be in trouble. Now, this, if you are a Yinwood Daymaster, and don't worry, I'm going to show this whole chart in the end. You can take a screenshot of that if you like. But for a Yinwood Daymaster, again, they get both of these companion stars. And here they get DW instead of IW. This is because these always flip. That's just the way it works. And they get IR. So they are able to see the big picture here a lot easier than the Yangwood does. And that, depending on where you are, if you have like really high IR, well, you may be so pie in the sky, like you can't actually get anything done because all you're doing is looking at the big picture. So these can all be negative if it's too high. But if it's something you're missing, it can be very, very helpful. Or if it's something that's low or even in the average category, it can be very helpful. So that's how you have to look at it. So if you are a Yang Fire Daymaster, you get both of the resources, which is pretty cool. This should allow you to learn faster this year because you've got both of the resources. You also have the creativity, the EG, and you have the DO. Now, these two kind of are like opposite. The direct officer is more like being organized, whereas creativity is kind of like the opposite. So you go with which one you need the most. And you will know yourself better than I know you, of course. So you can decide which one you're going to tap into. But the DR is very, very helpful because this year you're going to be able to learn faster. Now, this is over half the year's gone, but you can use this all the way until the first few days of February of 2025. So you've got some time to use this. If you are a Yin Fire Daymaster, then you have, again, the two resources. You have HO and 7K. So depending on which one you need, you can pick it, especially between these two. But it's up to you how you use this. Now, for the Yang Earth Daymaster, you get both of the influences. So you should be able to influence people better, and you'll have more energy. You'll be more organized. You'll get a lot more done because you've got the organization and the energy. You also have the friendship, and you have the hardworking DW. Depending on what you have, and you will know which one to use. So for the Yin Earth Daymaster, again, you're going to have both of the influences. Very, very good. Most people, this is pretty useful for, unless you already have a very high level. And here you have Rob Wealth. So it's more give and take. It's more focused on networking rather than partnerships. And you get IW, which again is going to probably give you some desire to start your own business, or at least you can see something in your current job that could be done better, and that it gives you some idea of maybe how to start a new business. Now here's the promise chart. If you want to take a screenshot, you can. This gives you all this stuff. And of course, you just find your Daymaster, and if you've got several family members, you can use that too. So let's go on to the other four. We have the Yang metal Daymaster. They get both of the wealths. So they get IW and DW. Now, unfortunately, it's just a year, so it's not really enough to start a business. Next year, you will have you'll actually get the same set, but they'll be flipped. But even 2 years is really hard to start a business, a successful business. You usually have to take longer to really become successful where you can quit your day job. That's what I mean by successful. So unless it also comes along with the right luck pillar or you find the right people, it would be very hard to start your own business. But you're really going to see things that can get better most of the time. This is what it means. Now you have resources. You'll be able to see the big picture really good, the indirect resources. So this is really quite good. This is a pretty good chart. And you also have HO. So this, of course, can also do with sales, but you can sell yourself to your boss for a promotion. So these are all really, really good things. So HO is a pretty good one to have as long as you don't have a lot in your chart already. So for the Yin metal Daymasters, again, you get both a DW and IW, but now this becomes DR. So you're more analytical, but you're also creative. And this is usually a pretty good combination, the EG and the DR, because you are able to see the problem from various different points of view, and you're able to solve the problem by analyzing it with the DR. The two together are very, very nice. Now for the Yang water Daymaster, we get both outputs. So this can be a year where you get a lot to show for your efforts, which is very nice. You also have the 7K, so you have more energy. That's really good. It builds your self-confidence. And you have the RW, so this has to do with networking. So this is also quite useful. Now, again, you pick which one you need the most. You can pick more than one, but all of them may be a bit much. Although maybe you do 90% of one of these things and maybe 5% of another and maybe 5% of another. That's also a way to do it. But you concentrate on generally one aspect that you need the most. And then here we have the last one, the Yin water Daymaster. Again, the two outputs. Here we have, instead of 7K, we have DO. So more organization. You gain leadership skills. So it's pretty good too. And this you have to have some leadership skills to be promoted. Otherwise, you're always going to be at the bottom echelon. And then we have the friend. So this can be your family. This can be close friends where you are able to help them and they can help you. And so this is how you look at this. And again, here is the full chart for you to look at. Take a screenshot if you need to. Now, each year you will have different skills and talents available for you to tap into. Some skills can shore up weak areas, and that's wonderful when that happens. They can open up new areas. They can even shore up areas that are kind of average, that can put you into a higher level energy. But it can also make you too rigid. If you already have a high level and you tap into that high level during a certain year or a certain luck pillar, it can stop you from growing because you're too focused, too narrow. You can't see another way of looking at the world, and that's usually a very negative thing. So you have to be careful when you get something you're already high on. You don't want to tap into it because you've already got enough. You tap into something where you're weaker. That's how you improve your life. Now, typically, as you have seen, there is 4 skills for everybody because the the dragon has 3 hidden stems, and the heaven stem is a different one. So there is usually between 2 and 4 skills present each year. But the wood rabbit and the metal rooster years, they only have one. And if you have the wood rabbit or the metal rooster in your luck pillar, you will also only have 1 skill to tap into for that luck pillar. So, but that's just the way it is. Not everybody will have these. It depends on, you know, it depends on when you were born, what your luck pillars will be. Now, when you reach 60 years old, you will have experienced every possible combination of annual pillars. Of course, the ones that happen when you were a kid aren't terribly useful to you because you're not in charge of your life. You're for at least half of that time, you know, you basically need parental or at least an adult taking care of you or being able for you to call on them because you're not old enough to handle any kind of crisis. But if you have a child and you see that their annual pillar or even their luck pillar has DR in it, getting them a tutor in math and science can improve their analytical abilities permanently. This will help them make decisions more easily and usually better decisions. So whether or not your child likes math or science is another thing. If they happen to like math and science and they're already doing well, this tutor is not to help them get better at whatever is at their grade level. It is to make them gain more skills beyond their grade level so that they can enter higher level classes and get into better schools, and especially college level. And not everybody has to go to college, but many people do. Now, if you have the IR, this can broaden your child's perspective and can improve their logic. And logic is really important. Usually, when you have a good level of logic, you can spot lies from truth. You can spot a lie because it doesn't make logical sense. And of course, you also have to have some background. You have to know things to know what's logical. But this helps improve your ability to think logically. And this is really important, not to get scammed and not to be hoodwinked into believing something stupid. So this is important. Of course, some kids have this naturally. I don't know if I did, but my dad was extremely logical, and he taught me logic even before I knew what logic was. And so he was very instrumental in my ability to think logically. And so for me, he was like a tutor. And if they have an annual pillar of HO, and an annual pillar is probably a little better than a luck pillar with HO, but they also have to be shy. If they're not shy, don't emphasize this luck pillar because they don't have any problem. But if they happen to have a year with the HO and they're shy, you can get them a little bit of counseling to help them become less shy. That will help them gain friends, be more comfortable speaking up in class, which will actually improve their learning because then they will be able to feel comfortable asking a question if they don't understand. So they'll learn better. So, but this is only really useful if they're shy. If they're not, don't do this. They're already okay. If your kid has an annual pillar of EG, they can increase their creativity in any area that they're interested in. I wouldn't be really fussy about what it is. Whatever they're interested in, let them run with it because learning to be creative in one thing helps you be creative in anything else. And so they can become more creative later in their life when they're at work or when they're running their own business. This will improve their ability to look at life in different ways. And The IR and the EG together are really good in terms of really broadening your viewpoint and seeing things still in a logical way, but also in a creative way that can maybe help solve some problems that are associated with things in their life. So this all goes together. Even as a kid, it is a good idea to take advantage of some of these. And you as a parent are the one who's going to have to help guide them. So that's it. I'd like to thank you guys for watching. And if you can leave a comment, again, I really would like to know if any of you also have one of your missing or weak elements in your clash animal. And I've got the, in the hidden stems of your clash animal. I this is something I'm really, really, really interested in. So please, if you feel comfortable, leave a comment or email me. I mean, I don't need to know the details. I just want to know if you have it. And so that's it. And I really, really want to thank you guys for watching. I'm surprised how much I am learning and really more deeply understanding BATSA. I'm glad I took the class, even though I don't think I'll ever do BATSA analysis for people, but it does help me understand somebody better when I'm dealing with them, even doing feng shui. So thanks again.